Today is Thursday, September 30. My name is Pastor Anthony, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today our text comes from 2 John. Anyone who runs ahead and does not continue in the teaching of Christ does not have God. Whoever continues in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. That's 2 John verse 9. There are always more interesting spiritualities to pursue than Christianity. Better marketed materials, more influential influencers, more catchy songs, more immersive rituals, more directive applications. Over these past years, you've perhaps seen this too. Things long taboo or fringe have begun finding their way back into mainstream channels. Dabblers in wicca, observers of the solstice, wearers of Thor's hammer. And that's coming along beside larger movements into religious practices that already were mainstream, like Buddhism or Hinduism. But what marks off our age as different than previous ones is that people are sampling religious practices in the same way they do their shopping, more in a mix and match sort of way, trying out some practices from one religion and taking teachings from a guru and another and creating out of it their own sense of an authentic spirituality that works for them. Everything in our Western world today has a seemingly equal claim to legitimacy if someone finds value in it. And all the world's history and practices can be ripped from context and suited to taste. So Christians do this too. Gone are the days that someone commits to one local church of one denomination and settles there for the rest of their lives. Most of you listening to this have read, watched, or listened to Christian content that came from somewhere other than the Christian Reformed Church or this church of Emmanuel CRC. Whether a sermon or music or a devotional or Bible study, you've done this. And increasingly, we don't stop at historically Christian practices or content either. We also entertain practices and teachings that come from beyond, like the uptake of yoga in recent decades, as one more benign example, which is something that I believe with Paul can be received and practiced with thanks to God. You can look at Romans 14 for more on that, but it's an example of something that is not a historically Christian practice that has flowed into our Western world in a big way. But my point is more this. In a world where all the boundaries have become blurry, and where we are increasingly immersed in a huge swirling variety of practices and teachings stripped from their original religious contexts, where does one draw the line today in terms of what one practices or takes on? Well, John gives a simple answer, which sounds strangely familiar to the one we heard in our devotion yesterday. It's basically this: continue in the teaching of Jesus Christ. Don't run ahead, thinking that you need to add something to your spirituality to spice it up or make it more effective or authentic, just because everyone else is these days. No, Jesus Christ and Him alone is enough. If you have Christ, then you already have everything. You don't have to search further. You can lean all your weight on Him. It's a hard thing to do these days, but to dwell with Christ, Him alone, and His promises is where the heart of the Christian faith is found. So as you journey on in this world with so many other possibilities, trying to walk the simple way of Christ, remember that you don't go alone. You go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever He may send you. May He guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May He bring you home rejoicing at the wonders He has shown you. May He bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.